Physio ice baths, rest, all the usual methods, all the old school methods of treating injury for sports stars. But in 2019, as everyone in sport is looking for the edge, the new ways of getting better quickly, they are turning to an alternative bioelectrical treatment called AcuEnergetics. Manly star Tom Trbojevic, Turbo Tom, credits the treatment for his blockbuster performance in Origin 2.
Yes, it's even helped Tigers legend Benji Marshall get a call up to the New Zealand side after a 9-year hiatus. And here to reveal all about the recovery method is founder Kevin Farrow and legend of the league, Wayne Pearce. Good morning to you both. Now, I am going to start by saying I have done this as well, AcuEnergetics, so I can't wait to hear your stories about it, but tell us all about it.
Well, the way that it works is that we look at the body from an electrical perspective, and so that means that we see blockages in the electricity as giving you pain and lack of function in the body. So what we want to do is just basically get the electrical flow going in the body to relieve pain and get function back.
Is this similar to the scanner system, where, which I think was developed in Russia originally, because I've seen and done that as well, and it's helped me. Is it similar? Does it work on a similar principle, or is it completely different?
We don't use machines at all.
Ah, okay. Well, how do you do it?
Yeah, so what we do is electricity moves to the point of lowest resistance, always. So what we learn to do is how to make a point of low resistance in our fingers and in our hands, and then we can make electricity that's stuck in the body move down towards our hands and get it out of the body. And it's pretty simple to learn. You know, Wayne's learned how to do it.
Tell us about it. Tell us your experience. So it's massage in a very different way.
No, we don't touch.
Is it kind of like Reiki?
No. Because in that, you're putting energy into the body.
Tell us, because people watching this, we could be talking in a foreign language. Try and break it down. Tell us what it is, how it's done, then I'll come to Wayne, because some of the names that are using it are some of the huge, high-profile sports people.
Yeah. Well, basically, electricity will always move to something that's a point of low resistance.
Okay.
So what we do is we use our attention. So if I can have your hand, I know you've had...
I have had it, yes.
Yeah. So if I make a point of low resistance in my finger...
Janie, what are you feeling?
It's actually feeling cool. Maybe it's the air conditioning up there. I
don't think so. So Wayne, this is really interesting. It's different. Cool?
I can really...
Yeah. Well, tell us about it.
So what happened was somebody referred me to Kevin. I'd had a chronic back problem for probably about 18 months, and I'd had conservative treatment, allied health treatment, physios, or chiros, all that sort of stuff, and it kept coming back. And when I went along to Kevin, he felt my back and touched a few spots and asked me if I'd had particular, he said, have you got a bladder infection? And I sort of said, well, I've actually had a few infections that come and gone. And he said, that's causing you back problems. And then he then said, well, listen, because for me, the doctor that I'd been going to couldn't work out why it kept coming back as well. So anyhow, he treated my back, and then straight away, I'm talking about after the session, the pain that had been there for 18 months just went. And then it was just amazing. I had a couple of follow-up treatments just to clear it. But then I just thought, this is too good. This can't be true. Certainly not placebo. And then subsequently, I thought, as far as rugby league is concerned, a lot of the rugby league players can benefit from it. So hence the reason that I've recommended, Tom Trbojevic has gone along, Benji's gone along, Benji Marshall. He's had fantastic results. Boyd Cordner was going to be ruled out of Origin, but he ended up playing and had a fantastic game about 2 or 3 years ago. My son Mitchell Pearce, he's been treated. It's just amazing, and it's not just footy players. It's anybody can benefit. It's just quite revolutionary, and I think it's going to be the future for the way to treat pain and soft tissue injuries.
And there's no reason why what you do and other forms of treatment shouldn't work, because we know such little about physiology, really.
Yeah, if you talk to an anatomy professor, they tell you everything in the body's electrical, and we use electricity at the nth degree in a lot of things. So if your heart stops or an organ stops, we electrocute it because we don't know what else to do, and sometimes that works. You get somebody with depression, and if drugs don't work, we electrocute them, but we don't think that the reason it works is because the whole system's electrical.
So what's your background? How did you come to this?
I was studying film and TV.
Oh, were you really? Wow. Were you really?
I was really, yeah. I was at Murdoch Uni.
Tell us what happened.
My brother rang me up and he said, I need a guinea pig. And I'm like, sure. So I went and he was studying nursing and he read some magazine that said you have an electrical field around your body. So the guinea pig was, I sat there and he got the wooden end, something like this, except the wooden end of a skipping rope with a sharp point, and he dug it really hard into the bottom of my foot for about 45 minutes, hurt, right? And then after about 45 minutes, if there's the bottom of my foot, he could move his hand there and it felt like he was scraping my foot. And I got really interested in it. And I really don't know how this happened, but about 3 or 4 weeks after that, I just had this understanding of sort of how the electrical system in the body worked in a very big picture thing, and then I started to investigate it. So I stopped doing film and TV. And
I mean, obviously, people are cynics, as most people are cynics. So they often will say, "Oh, this is good. You got to be a witch doctor, or this can't be working." What about that kind of feedback, particularly early on, I suppose, when you're starting to sort of to step into this world?
The good thing about this is it's really, like Wayne said, he got off the table. He didn't have any belief system in it at all. He just had this thing that nobody else could fix. And pretty well, you know, we get people all the time who they don't believe it. You know, I had a guy a few years ago who was head of a department at CSIRO, and he was a theoretical physicist, and he said the only reason that he was there was that his wife made him. And I said, fine, got him on the table, and about 2 seconds later, he sat up and he said, OK, I now believe you can make things move around inside my body without touching me, but how do you know it does me any good? That's a good question. You know, he actually did a couple of courses.
I'll leave the last comment to you.
Yeah, no,
I find it fascinating.
Well, it is. I mean, what I find fascinating is the real science behind this, but also the fact that pain really is blocked energy flow. Is that correct, Kevin? Yeah. So what Kevin does is gets the energy going, so the pain goes. But with the soft tissue injury, you've got to be careful because that doesn't mean the muscles heal. So, but certainly the pain goes, and then it's up to the rehab after that.
Because often you will have pain that stays around, even though the problem may be fixed as well.
That's the problem, because you do an MRI scan. This is really the problem that physios have. You see the MRI scan and it looks good, but then they're going to get a recurrent injury. So, you know, we work with physios and it works very well.